fucking adults somehow illegal by the government. It's absolutely fucking retarded. Seriously, if you think that prostitution should be illegal, you might be fucking retarded. Maybe. So I'm not a doctor and I can't diagnose you, but you might just be a fucking retard. But like I said, I don't know, so.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
How much money
I
secretaries
wish I
get
could
paid?
show. I should just show chat right now. Jeez.
How much
This
money do
is
secretaries
funny.
get paid for making up these fucking act names? A Republican congressman from Georgia put forth his own bill for replacing Obamacare. The
All right,
offering
hold on.
patients true individualized options now act or option act.
All right. We're going to a break. We got to get Thorin on here. So we'll be right back, guys.
Come on, you don't have to go to a break. Just throw them the fuck on. Let's do it.
You
We can
just
jump into
throw them
Stargrowth.
on? All right, fine. Trying to be all, make this all look neat and shit, but all right, I'm just going to fix it.
What about pregnancies from prostitution? I don't know. I wish there was some way to prevent fucking pregnancy from sex, but I mean, obviously I've got a kid, so I don't know. But I heard that they made some device or whatever. I think Bill Gates was investing in it for people to try to make device on how you.
What's up, Duncan? Lay it on me, dude. Lay it on me.
They want you.
Getting the time wrong.
All right, let's do it. What are we talking about?
I thought Asians were supposed to be good with math.
Oh, whatever. This is daylight saving stuff, man. It fucked me up.
Yeah, so because some farmer needs to get up an hour earlier to plant seeds, you got the time wrong. Okay, but yeah, that checks out, yeah. I guess you are Asian, so maybe rice paddy or something. I don't know. I'm just going to be racist now. I don't even give a fuck. You make me wait all this time.
Does rice grow? I thought rice grew like all season. Does it matter? Like the
I
sun
don't
and
fucking
shit?
know.
I make you wait
I don't
on
know
this
any-
one?
If there's one thing I don't
Can you
know
tell?
about, Stephen, it's rice cultivation in like the greater part of Asia.
As our resident fucking rice advisory expert, can you please tell us?
Oh, man. I only eat rice, okay? I don't fucking grow rice.
Okay.
All right,
Okay,
all
you're
right.
just part of the problem.
That's part of the problem.
So you don't.
All
support
right,
your own-
so let's get this thing started. I want to welcome, obviously, Thorin to the show, our guest. I think Totalbiscuit will probably join us in not too long here, but
Well, I think he does anyway, whether he's scheduled or not, right?
What?
I mean, isn't your show essentially like he has like one of those phones, like that 1960s Batman show, and he just like picks up this red phone with ChanMan written on it anytime he has an opinion, and he's just like, "Oh, hello, ChanMan, can I just start talking on your show now?"
Dude, every time that Doug is on the show, TV is part of it, and he hasn't been part of the show. Steven, has TV been part of the show in like the last
No, he
5-6 weeks?
Maybe
Like,
I think
it's
some
like-
people on the internet. I think there's some technology out there that people haven't been publicizing. Maybe they get it from like the NSA or some shit. But like I was
What are you
streaming,
talking
I was streaming like 2 days ago to like there were only like 1,000 people watching, and I'm like streaming and I'm just kind of talking, and then I mentioned something about how in like some really small subreddit, DJ Wheat said some shit, and I was like, I don't think that's actually right though. And then he like tweeted at me like 20 seconds later. I was
Oh,
like,
I
holy
saw
shit.
that. I saw
What
that.
the fuck?
I was like,
I was
I couldn't even find what it was referencing
Yeah,
to. So I was
and
like,
I got like paranoid
was
as fuck. And I was
weird.
like, anyway,
Yeah.
back to the games.
that
Well,
was
no, that's
interesting.
why Totalbiscuit can come on the show anytime he likes, because he's not going to be scheduled.
No,
'Cause if
okay.
some-
Let's
if some
clarify,
peon
Duncan.
small
I scheduled
content
him.
producer
I
like Shannon
scheduled him.
messages him and says, you know, like, "Oh, you want to be on my show at 7?" He's going to be like, "I'm not going to make time in my. I'll try and do my voice now. I'm not going to make time in my schedule
my
to be on that
God.
show at 7 p.m.
Oh
in the
my
East and like
gosh.
whatever, like that." So instead, what he does is, because he has like 90 million YouTube subscribers, so he doesn't have to deal with individual people. Remember, he just deals with people.
Okay,
en
now
masse.
you're talking bullshit.
So
here.
when TV just
You-
decides to like come to the top of the mountain and just speak to the people, that's when he does that. Otherwise, you know, fuck him all.
Oh,
It's like
man.
whenever though, like
This
you're
is-
graced by the. It's like God doesn't have to tell you when Jesus is coming
Yeah,
back.
exactly.
You're just supposed to
Sure,
be
yeah.
there and be ready and waiting,
And experience his wrath.
experience
or
was rad.
salvation, depending on what side of him you're on.
No, I don't think TB's coming with any salvation, man. I'm sorry. I don't think,
If you
I don't
agree
think
with
that's
him,
what
it
he's
can-
about.
Oh boy, this is.
Wow, this hate.
Oh man, I better get my gear on today, man. to have to
No, listen,
separate these
it's,
guys.
It's like,
today.
you know, when you have a friend and then he keeps hanging around with another friend, and you have no reason to even dislike that other friend. Okay, you don't know him, but you just get a bit jealous that this guy's like giving him more attention. You're like, "Oh, fuck that guy." And if you find
What?
any reason that you don't like him, what, he likes Star Trek, fucking loser. That's what I feel like now with the way ChanMan treats me with like every
Oh
episode.
my-
I'm checking
dude,
come on.
okay, all right.
He's finding a way to
Holy
get like
shit.
Totalbiscuit on. Like,
Okay,
he's
so
talking-
That
he's-
sounds like some shit. That
He's
sounds like some
referencing.
shit.
Okay,
No, that sounds like some shit that girls do. When you like, if you're like talking to a few girls and there's one that's kind of into you, like, yeah. So did you see or whatever about like Becky or whatever? Like, oh, Becky, I know her. Yeah, she's a slut. She's got AIDS. She's like nasty. Her
She's got
boobs are
AIDS.
disgusting.
Oh, my.
Her hair is fucked up. Like, and like that shit's like, damn. Like I didn't know you fucking hated her that much, but it's not really. It's just like because So it's like the same thing. That's cute.
No, see what I've done here, Chaman, is I've used this as a catharsis because I'm actually in a really bad mood when I came on now. I've talked a bit about Totalbiscuit. I've bitched about him. He's going to be on the show later, so now I'm starting to enjoy myself. I'm loosening up.
Just kind of a nice release, yeah.
I had the racism, the xenophobia, alienation.
We were doing politics. We were doing politics earlier. You should have been here.
doesn't
Oh,
give
I
a
know
shit.
how much I love your
He doesn't give a shit about
philosophical ideas about politics, Stephen. So
Exactly.
please lay it on
Man,
me.
we had so much fun. We were talking about the elections, the Tea Party people. Oh man.
All right, let's talk some esports. Let's talk some esports. Let's jump into some of these topics and kick things off by talking about the big event that's going to be happening this week. ESL hosting.
NASL closed last week. Oh, never mind. Sorry, ESL. Yeah.
Oh man! All right, ESL's two big events, or just multiple big events. We got IEM in Katowice and EMS1, and pretty much a little bit of everything. Obviously, StarCraft 2, CS:GO being the big things, and League of Legends, and even a tiny Hearthstone Invitational, which I didn't even know about until I actually looked at the page and saw that there were just 4 people there. And actually, they announced it too, right? They announced it, I guess, a few weeks back, but I just didn't realize it was going to take the form of this. So yeah, let's talk about IEM. You're going to be there, Duncan, right? You're leaving tomorrow, is that right, or tonight?
Yeah, tomorrow.
No, tomorrow morning. Yeah, so it's going to be, I don't know, I feel like it's going to be an enormous event. The venue looks amazing. I haven't gotten a chance to look inside of the venue, but all these tweets of...
Oh, it's in Poland, so...
Yeah. But you think, is it going to be filled? Is it sold
I mean, you'd
out?
have to have pretty good eyesight to be able to see it over there, Chaman.
Yeah. So is it going to be packed? I mean, is it sold out? I'm not sure about the event or if they've announced.
Well, it's in Poland, and I think the tickets are quite cheap. So yeah, I'm assuming it will be like totally sold out because what the fuck else is going on in Poland?
Oh, nice, man.
And they've got that
Nice.
existential hole of being polished to try and fill with some esports. So maybe it's like when you have like the Olympics in like somewhere in Africa, and they can all pretend like they're part of the developed world for like 2 weeks, and then everyone just leaves. And
I don't
then they're
think
still in the
Poland's
dirt.
that bad. What the
Wow! Oh my god!
Poland's one of the worst countries in Europe, bro.
Wow! Really? Okay.
Yeah, but there are like
It's one of
other
those
countries.
countries.
that
I need to
put,
get
like,
Carmack
This is
on
an
here,
exaggeration,
man.
by the way. This is a famous thing in the West. Poland is one of the countries where, when they opened up that Schengen agreement, where European countries, where if you're in the EU, you can move freely between them. Like the second they opened that up, everyone in Poland was just like, "Cool, get the fuck out of Poland." Then they just like went to the next countries. So if it's so
Poland is,
awesome,
like,
why
one
aren't
of
they
the-
there?
Educate me as an ignorant American. Poland is one of the better satellites, though, right? Of the Soviet Union. Like they're
No,
one of
at
the
least in Europe, it's one of the absolute best. Yeah, but you have to realize.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah. So even so, like if you compare it against like maybe like fucking like France or Germany or some shit, then yeah, it looks like a shithole. But compared to like fucking Ukraine or Romania or the
that's the
whatever.
That's the one. I always say the Ukraine is really, really bad because Poland was way nicer. But even then, it has problems. Like I remember, I once was talking to a Polish CS pro, a famous pro, and I met him when I went to Poland once, and he said he lived something like, I forget the distance. Let's say like 200 miles away. And I was like, all right, so it's like a couple of hours by car. And he was like, no, it was like 8 hours. I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, well, because all the roads have like holes in them and stuff. And so it just took like forever to get there and like just that distance or something. So it didn't give me a very good
Impression
sense
of
of
it.
what the country
Wow,
was
I
like.
didn't know it was
Sure.
that bad.
I think for being a satellite and comparing it to other satellites, though, I think Poland is pretty well doing pretty good. No, like I mean, I don't think it's necessarily fair to compare it to like Western Europe, but
Put it this way, it's another place also where there's constantly news stories where like their football games, they have like straight up racism to like all black players and like the whole crowd like chants stuff.
well,
and...
but let's be fair, fucking all of Europe is straight up fucking racist like Muslim
No,
people.
that's the
and
thing.
shit.
That doesn't happen in the developed countries now. Like in
Where?
the UK.
Because everywhere I went to in Germany,
Yeah.
people fucking hated Turkish people and shit. Spinning at
No, but
kebab
the
shops
difference
and shit.
is they wouldn't like if a black player who was really good on their team was playing, they wouldn't all like fucking throw a banana peel on. That's like shit that happened 50 years ago in those big countries. You know that happens like now in Poland, and they have games where there's people within their game, like the home supporters, do like Nazi
Were they trying to
salutes
make
and shit, or
in
like
France?
super
Were they trying to
right-wing
make like
groups?
Were they trying to make like hate crimes like fucking legal in France against people wearing like fucking burqas and shit?
They just made it
thought
so it was
that
illegal to have a burqa.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of Europe that hates fucking brown people. Maybe not black people. Maybe you guys like moved on over your hatred of black people, but from my impression of the parts that I've been in Europe, it seems like a lot of people fucking hate brown people over there.
I mean, to be fair, you guys hate Mexicans, and you actually took your country from Mexicans only like 150 years ago. So you're actually in
Part
their
of it,
country,
part of the country,
complaining about
part of
them
the
moving
country.
back.
Just Texas, man. Just Texas.
But to be fair, you guys
Forget
started
about the
taking it
whole
first.
side.
Like we didn't come to the United States as Americans. We came as fucking from the crown, dog.
No, but that's the problem. Have you ever seen that map of the original colonies of the US? It's like these tiny little bits on the right-hand side. Then you guys just took all this shit over here.
Wow.
You're vicious, dog.
American
I mean, I'm not about to defend fucking Manifest Destiny. I'm not about to defend American expansion.
No, go.
This
is the real topic we've all been waiting to talk about.
You look at me like tell you that it was right because I can't do that, dog. Like, fucking yeah. I mean, yeah, that was some pretty nasty fucking shit.
All right.
Anyway,
let's talk
so, yeah.
esports, guys. So, all right, the event. Let's start off with some StarCraft. All right, so this is the World Championship, and
Well, no, it's the EMS World Championship.
yeah, EMS. Oh, we are EMS
Wait,
World Championship. It's the
real quick though, what Thorin said is actually kind of true. We made it a joke about it, but
Okay,
Kenneth was talking about that a lot too, and that when you have countries where not a lot of stuff is going on, you can find a lot of support for other events there because they do want to feel like they're kind of part of something. I heard that was like at least a minor factoring into choosing the Katowice or whatever, right? Or Katowice.
It's true, because if you think about it, the problem is I've been to tons of events, right, in America, where if it wasn't something like League of Legends modern day stuff, they had a hard time filling the crowd. Like I went to World Cyber Games in LA in 2010, so this is not even that long ago, 2010, and it was free to get in if you were a fan, and they held it in the LA Convention Center right next to Staples Center downtown, and I think there was probably a crowd of like 50 people for most of the games. Even though they wanted to have like 1,000 people and pack the whole place out, they couldn't get people in. I even heard they like started paying people to come off the street and like, here's like $20 if you go and sit down in a chair, just so it didn't look like complete shit. And that's because in the West, I mean, nowadays with stuff like League of Legends, StarCraft 2, you would get like a big, because people are desperate to go to these things.
Yeah.
But back then it was super hard to get audience. Meanwhile, if you held an event in China, like the year before was in China for World Cyber Games, supposedly they had like the entire place was totally packed. Was like totally packed out, and like there was people sitting on the floor and up on the, because there's fuck all going on there. So like everyone was super into it, like the idea of like, oh, this is our one esports event we can go to like for the next 6 months or something. And so it's been the same in Eastern Europe, which is like every time I've been to the Ukraine, well, it's called Ukraine now, and you go to that cyber arena thing where they hold like Dota 2 and they hold CS and stuff, that's always packed out with kids. And so I think actually it's true. If you hold it somewhere shittier, then it's going to seem awesome and loads more people will come.
Yeah,
you make it sound like it's a
Which is
bad
really
thing.
decent.
It's a great. It's still
not
a
a
good
bad. It's
thing.
not a bad thing. It's
Right?
just a
I
thing.
mean, geez.
It's not that it's a bad thing.
They're
It's just a
passionate,
thing. It's
too.
something you have to be aware of.
Yeah, exactly. But so it is the IM World Championships too, right? It's not.
Well,
just
if that's what it's called, but
Yeah.
if me and Stephen host a show match now, we can't call it the World Championship and really consider the winner the World Champion, can we? Do you consider the winner of this tournament the World
Fine.
Champion in StarCraft 2, Stephen?
I mean, I just consider her probably a Protoss player, but
Oh boy.
it's going to a Protoss.
Okay, let's talk.
There's
Let's
so many fucking
World
Protosses in this
Champion
fucking-
of Cannon Rush, yeah.
That's
That's what it is. It's the winner takes all Cannon Rush Championship, and then they let a few Zerg and Terran participate just so they could see the power.
There were like an okayish number of Zergs, at least in the qualified section. But
All right, so
Yeah,
it starts on Thursday. There's already 14
Okay.
players already obviously qualified for a bunch of the previous IM events during the year, and you can kind of see the 14 right here. I think Nanny was.
And I believe it was 13, but okay.
hey,
it's 14.
Chanman, there's literally two of
Oh
me on
no!
your...
Oh yeah, there's one person. Wait.
Chanman, there are two of me on your stream right now.
Oh, is there? Oh shit,
Yeah.
that's not good. But anyways, looking at the open bracket, that one thing cool about this championship is there is an open bracket where pretty much the majority
Somebody
of the
said-
foreigners are
Adabisi
residing
in
right
chat
now.
said Adabisi in chat said it's the world champion of IEM, Thorin.
Oh, burn.
Okay, well,
Burn.
when
Kind
we
of like
have a
that-
world
it's
that's called IEM, then I'll
It's kind of like
acknowledge that
it's
then.
kind of like the College World Series in the United States.
No, exactly, yeah.
Oh shit.
God. But
Okay.
so looking at the open bracket,
And by the way, they can call themselves world champion anyway. I'm joking when I say it, obviously. It's
yeah,
subjective as it is.
world champion for.
Yes,
StarCraft.
darling, what is it about the open bracket you desperately would like to tell us?
Yeah, what about the open bracket?
Just
Seem
looking
very
at
excited about it.
who do you think? Well, who do you think is going to come out of it? I mean, do you think it's
No one
Protoss.
Polish.
Nobody
No one
Polish.
Polish?
Oh man, that sucks, man.
Why not?
I
Who
was
are our
hoping-
strong Polish
I
players
was
right now
hoping it'd
again?
be Nurcio, Mana, Tefel.
No, just the first two.
Just, just the first
Actually,
two.
Polish,
Ow.
it's not even a joke. Polish players have actually done really badly ever since Wings of Liberty came out.
Yeah,
Heart of the
that's true.
Swarm came out. They used to be, Mana and Nurture used to be really good at the end of Wings of Liberty, and then they both just dropped off heavily in Heart of the Swarm.
Particularly Nurcio. I mean, Mana's had he's had good results too in Wings of Liberty, but not as good as Nurcio. And Nurcio pretty much hasn't done
happened to-
anything in Heart of the Swarm.
No, they
What
both
happened
had
to
good
Nurture?
results in the wrong.
Did they
Well,
stop
first of all-
updating the map pack or whatever that Nurture was using?
No, by the way,
Come
he still
on,
wrecks
dude.
every Zotac. That's not even a joke. Like
He
does,
I
he
worked for
does.
Asa, right? And I used to tell him all the time, only half jokingly, like you probably do have map hacks, but because you've done in CS, there used to be a famous thing, right, where every idiot fan judged hackers like this, which is if they were a hacker online and they were really good, but they went to a LAN and did badly,
Yeah.
they'd be like,
Yeah,
"Ah, you
that's-
definitely hacked."
yeah,
and I used to say
that's
to them
standard.
because I know this happened once. Like that's the stupidest logic ever. Because the person who would have the perfect alibi is the one who's really good on LAN, and because he's really good on LAN, he may as well just cheat online, so he wins online as well. Well, Nurcio has won something like fucking 25 Zotac Cups or something. Like when I used to be at Acer,
Yes.
every fucking week we had to do like a new news post, like, and he won the next Zotac Cup. You know those things are like 256 player open tournaments where you have to
Yeah,
win like
exactly.
7 best of ones to even get to like a best of 3. Like how the fuck do you win that without cheating? You bastard.
I mean, to be fair,
And
when
you're
he
from
went to a
Poland.
live event, when he went to Home Story Cup, a lot of people were expecting him to do bad, but he ended up winning.
I mean,
Didn't he
he
win one of the
come on
tournaments?
now. I mean, he
that was
hasn't.
when
He's
that was
won
when he
some
went,
lands
like,
too.
18
That's-
to 2 against. Dude, that's the whole point of what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
That it would make more sense to cheat online if you were amazing offline. Because how could anyone question
Okay.
you?
Oh
Got
yeah,
it,
no,
got it.
that's true. That's true.
Misinterpreting
That's
there.
true.
Misinterpreting you there.
I'm just saying it doesn't
So,
make sense that
couldn't
it's
it be
won
like-
so many. It's like impossible how many he's won. You know.
It is.
Yeah.
It is
So
crazy.
it could be somebody like Spades and cheat online because then when you go to a live event and get absolutely fucking anally devastated, it looks really
Yeah,
bad. But if you're
exactly.
already really good, then no, that's interesting to think about. But it would look really bad if you got caught. I don't know if it'd be worth it though, because if you got caught in a ban wave, then your like career might end. That would be really risky, I think.
Yeah, I mean, there's
You
no
know?
point. I mean, you are risking a lot, and it seems for like the Zotac Cups, it seems like I don't know, it'd be a needless risk for him to do.
No, but that's
stuff
the
like that.
joke. Zotac is like €100 if you win it, right?
Right.
Even though it's like a massive odds to win because he's so many players.
Yeah.
Because he's won like 20, he's made something like $2,000 just playing Zotac Cups. So he's made more playing Zotac Cups than like fucking like
Than
Bling
a
or
lot
like
of
the
professionals
Muslims
have
made
made
in like
playing.
tournaments for like 2 years or something.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, getting back to this open bracket, who do you think is going to come out of it? So I think 2 or 3. So there's 13. I mean, there's 14 listed, but I kind of remember one slot being with a Stardust, or there was somebody right that's on here that's not actually making it into the round of 16. I can't remember for what reason. It wasn't visa related, right? Because there's 14 players listed here, and oh God, am I thinking of a different term? I might be thinking of a different one. But
You're
anyways,
killing me,
like,
bro. Are you even on Wikipedia? Because on mine it says 16 open bracket participants.
Oh.
No, I'm talking about making it into the actual, the
Yeah.
round of 16, right? So
Yeah, that's the open bracket. Am I
know.
missing something here?
Yeah, look at this link. Look at the
6 Zerg, 4 Terran, 6 Protoss. I don't know why you're using that site. Why not just use Wikipedia?
Oh, I just want to show just IEM's official site. That's kind of why.
What is the official site? Is that? Oh, never mind. Okay.
I mean, I see 14 here listed, and then the open bracket. It looks like it's for 2 slots, unless one of these people are not qualified for the actual round of 16.
Did you hear that this tournament was winner take all? Wow.
Come on, Steve. Are you serious? Shit. Okay. All right. Fucking A. Anyways, whether it's 2 or 3, who do you think are the favorites in the open bracket?
I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Gotta be
It's
Deer and Jadong. pretty
Jadon
much.
and Deer.
Yeah. If there's a
And
third
then
slot.
after that, Kian and Lenok.
Are you just looking at the Korean flags, motherfucker? Wow,
That's
that
pretty
racism.
much. You left off JYP.
No,
dude.
because
you left
Yeah,
him
what
off.
about
I didn't
JYP?
mention JYP, and he plays Protoss, gets paid loads of money and is Korean. But guess what? That motherfucker isn't making it in the tournament.
Oh man.
He's a true evil geniuses player, even though he's Korean.
Oh, that's
How does a guy like
That's
that?
pretty
Oh,
funny.
you want to have a discussion? How does a fuck like that still have an EG salary and contract, while Oz, who plays his
I
race
don't
and is
know.
way better, isn't on EG anymore? Revival, way better results, isn't on EG
I
anymore.
know.
Are you honestly asking, or?
Yeah. Why do you think it is? Why is JYP?
It is
Because when they
true.
went
It is
to
pretty
when they went to renegotiate the contracts, JYP settled for a much lower figure, and Oz and Revival didn't. They thought they could find better elsewhere. That's probably what happened.
Oh, okay, fair enough. That's
I
crazy.
mean, I think JYP for a little bit of time was kind of having a little resurgence, but it's kind of ended.
He had
But-
one tournament. I think it was DreamHack Winter where he made a tiny little run and then he still lost like in fucking like 8th place or
timing,
something.
baby.
So,
That was contract run right there, man. Timing, baby.
yeah.
Okay, so it looks like I
Isn't that
would
what,
guess
it seems
it.
like that's what every EG contract is. It's like the king of fucking timing attack contracts.
Dude, that happens in a lot of sports, man. Like, think of baseball, one fucking year and you get $100 million. So okay, probably Jaedong and Deer. I think I would probably safe to assume that, but it's going to be crazy Protoss. So is it pretty safe to say Protoss is going to win this thing?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I mean,
I think the heroes are playing
only in as much as they have more players. But the problem is when you say it like that, the implication is like, oh, his Protoss are imbalanced, that's why they're going to.
Well, there's a lot of
That's
strong.
why-
There's a lot of. I mean, there are a lot of strong Protoss players in this too. I mean, the two heroes.
Yeah,
have been
no,
doing
like
really well.
Protoss isn't going to
MCs.
win the tournament because they're imbalanced. They're going to win because there are more players here.
Yeah.
But the reason there are
Yeah,
more players
I
here
mean,
is because they're imbalanced.
No, here's also the thing: is they're going to win. They're likely to win the tournament because they also have better players here. Whereas look at the players who are playing for the other races. Like, okay, so Terran, it's pretty unlikely they're going to win because there's only basically Tasia and Holt could in
I
theory
hope
win
I
up
hope I
to
see
Terran's
Paul do well,
well.
but yeah.
And then Zergs, okay, you have Life, maybe Jaedong if he makes it in, but like the others
Revival
probably aren't.
Rogue,
Whereas the
not.
difference is Protoss not only has a lot of players, but they're nearly all the best
Lot
Protoss
of
in the
good
world on that
players.
list there.
They are the best players. By easily the best Protoss players.
Thank God,
for
I can
sure.
get my Protoss QQ post ready. I'm so excited. I can already start drafting it.
Although here's the hilarious
Oh,
thing,
God.
you know in Wings of Liberty when everyone said Zerg was imbalanced because it was. The biggest problem Zergs had was even if you were a really good Zerg, because you had to play ZVZ constantly, you still might not win the tournament. And so it was even fucking up your life that ZVZ was going on, right? Well, that's the same problem that's going to happen here with the Protoss. So
With
for
PvP,
example,
yeah,
I
PvP, sorry.
I think SOS is fucking amazing. Like I think that guy's one of the
Yeah,
best players
he
I've
is.
ever seen.
He is.
But he could easily not make it to the top 4 this tournament because he has to play like San, Hero, the other hero.
To
You know
be-
what I mean? Like he has
to
to
be
play a ton
fair-
of PvP.
To be fair, I think PvP is in a better place than it was in Wings of Liberty. And I think
Sure.
that PvP is in a better place now than ZVZ was in Wings of Liberty, I think. But I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure if I'm convinced that
I don't know
ZVZ
about
was
that.
completely volatile in Wings of Liberty. I think that the better ZVZ players, maybe, I don't know.
No, but the
don't-
problem I saw with
don't know about
ZVZ
that.
and Wings of Liberty was that too much of it was like it almost played too much into the fact that there's not that much like intensive micro in StarCraft 2, and so too much of it was just like throwing the army together and then see who wins out of that fight there. And whereas
Sure.
in PvP, a lot of it's just like I won't say entirely gambling. It's more like
It's more like Frozen. Steven, is he frozen for you?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh man, now he's just getting to a good point too. Uh-oh, I think we lost him. Alright, we'll be waiting for Thorin here. But TB's actually ready to go too, so we'll see if we can get Thorin. I kind of wanted to finish this IEM segment first before getting TB on, but
Uh-oh.
if Thorin's gone, that could be bad.
ZVZ, okay, let's be fair. ZVZ and Brood War was... I thought ZVZ and Brood War was fucking terrible. I didn't like it. The Muta Scourge micro was fun, but I really fucking hated ZVZ and Brood War.
I mean, ZVZ and Rings of Liberty, I don't
Wings
think
of Liberty
has-
was pretty bad.
I don't
The
think it's
Ling
ever
shit in
been
the
as bad
beginning.
as PvP in either
Well,
in either Wings of Liberty or
maybe,
Hearthstone.
I don't know.
I mean, you're talking
I don't
about
know.
like the very like boring kind of monotonous roach battles, right? For the most part, is what you're probably talking about in Wings of Liberty. But the thing is that all the openings and that sort of thing, that was always, just the riskiness, the coin flippy feel of the openings was always because people were taking crazy chances with 15 hatches all the time, right? And it still happens to today, but when it came to when it came to the actual the actual games, I don't know. We saw a little bit of everything. I think we saw a little bit of Muta toward the end in the beginning of Wings of Liberty, right?
A little bit of what? For what matchup?
Just Muta's, right? Muta's in the ZVZ matchup.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
All right, so it looks like
Well, it
we
was just
lost
the
Thorin
opening
here.
stuff. It was just, yeah, I think Thorin is gone. It was just the opening was really bad. TVTs have always been a good mirror matchup, I think.
All right, we're gonna have to fix this.
But I don't know. Maybe I mean I haven't watched very many pros play PvP, but it doesn't feel like PvP should be as in a coin flippy spot now as it was in Wings of Liberty. So the better Protoss player should usually advance. But I guess anything is possible.
I still think there's not as much, but it's still very coin flippy in some situations. Okay, so let me. Thorin, I hope he didn't. All right, let's get TB in while we wait for Thorin too. It kind of gives me an excuse to take a break here. So we'll be right back, guys. All right, guys, we are back. Obviously, you can see that TB is joining us now, but Thorin was kind of mid-sentence when he got cut off. We were talking about just the PvP versus ZVZ, and just kind of I think Steven made a comparison to it. Just kind of, I guess, is PvP now better than Wings of Liberty? Yeah.
I think it's okay now, rather than... I think it's okay now. I think you can say, I think the better Protoss will usually win the PvP series, right? Do most people agree with that for Hooded? I think the better Protoss will
that's good.
win pretty convincingly most of that. Well, but some people could argue that there were... Well, no. It's inarguable that there were times in Wings of Liberty's history where PvP was pretty fucking volatile.
Like, you mean like when Huck and In Control did well at MLGs?
Yeah.
You do realize
that's way beyond.
Well, that had more to do.
And bullshitting him in PvP.
That had more to do with the fact that there was no Koreans at the MLG.
Yeah, MC wasn't even at
MLG.
That and the pool play system was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, that had to do more with MLG seeding policy and the fact that at one point in time Huck was legitimately a good player. I think there was a time at Wings of Liberty where Huck was a decently good player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not really mutually exclusive to what I said, you know.
What do you mean?
Well, what does that have to do with whether he's a good player, with whether he beats better players because he plays them in PvP?
Well, because you're making it sound like... to bring up Huck now, you're making it sound like you're bringing up Huck now in a mocking way, but nobody would have mocked Huck 3 years ago in Wings of Liberty. He wasn't a player then.
There was a period in time when it was more volatile, so I specifically listed 2 people who were Protoss who had huge results based largely on PvPs during that. It seemed pretty applicable to me.
In Control had huge
but
results.
I would say that
In
MC
Control
was
definitely does not have
MC was
results.
never leagues above Huck like in Wings of Liberty. I don't think he was like leagues like light years above. He might have been slightly better, but when I say volatile,
did you just suggest that 2-time GSL champion MC wasn't leagues above Huck?
When Protoss 2 base Huck, okay, let's be honest right now, okay? MC was a huge fucking shitter in a lot of fucking Wings of Liberty. He was really fucking good at all-ins, but that was it.
Wow.
Yeah, Huck,
Okay.
MC transitioned from a bullshit 2-base all-in play for the majority of his Wings of Liberty to actually being a decent macro player, whereas I would say right now MC is a well-rounded, decent player, but if you knew anything about StarCraft in 2011, MC made a fucking living fucking all-inning on
We're being DDoSed again.
No,
I'm not.
I think we're okay. Are you talking about Destiny DDoS? Destiny distributed?
I have a feeling.
Okay, I'm sorry. Regardless, when I said volatile, I mean like fucking like Masters Leagues players could beat like almost professional players sometimes because of the volatility of PvP. Not like 2 professional players, like one who is a bit better than the other could lose, but like really, really, really volatile. Okay, sorry. There we go.
Goes Thorin.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, he's off at the moment, but I think Huck's a pretty poor example considering that Huck has several notable victories. One, of course, which was 3-2 over Moon. The MLG Orlando win. It's like, all right, that's 4-1 against MC. That's cool. Yeah, but
he beat a lot of Koreans at the Orlando one.
Well,
actually.
he 2-0'd Marine King. Yep. He 2-1'd STC prior to that, and he didn't actually get to that point on the back of his PvP. He may have won.
I mean, if you want to shit on Huck now, then whatever you can do it. But Huck was a decent player in 2011. Like, Huck was a decent Wings of Liberty player. He wasn't anybody that you would, like, say jokingly, like, Huck, what a shitter, you know? Like, you might now if you're an asshole.
I don't think, I mean, I think because he brought up In Control, I think that's where he kind of...
like, he was bringing it up as a joke, like, oh, well, Huck beat MC. Like, that wasn't... I don't think that was amazing.
Lots of people have beaten MC.
Yeah.
No.
It's because of that match.
He's a great player, but he has lost to probably more foreigners than most top-tier Koreans ever have. Probably the most, I would say. And it's most likely because he exposed himself to so many foreign tournaments so early on.
Yeah.
So, it racks the stats up that way. But, yeah, it's not that relevant. I mean, I think PvP at this point is obviously in a much better state than it used to be. And the better player wins more of the time than it used to. But there's still coin flipping going on. There's quite a bit of it. And you still see it even to this day. Yeah, still a bit. Not as much. So
kind of getting back to IM, Katowice, what do you think Naniwa's chances are? I gotta bring it back sometime, Jesus.
Yeah.
What was the last tournament that Naniwa played in?
I mean...
Well, they got knocked out of WCS.
Yeah, I mean, WCS for sure, everybody, right?
Who did he end up losing to?
He played the IM event too, right? Not Sao Paulo, but...
Who did he get knocked out of at WCS?
Jade? Is it Jadon?
No. That would be a different region. That would be a little strange. Jadong's pretty good, but not...
no, you're talking about this year. Sorry, I was talking about, like, the
No, yeah, you said he got knocked out of WCS. Who did he get knocked out by?
He was knocked out by MC 2-0, and then Bunny beat him 2-1.
The thing about Naniwa is that how good Naniwa does is almost entirely determined by him. If he's been like on his grind, like hardcore practicing and shit, like he could do well. But if he hasn't been motivated, some people have this idea that Naniwa is like one of the hardest working people in esports, blah blah blah. And I would agree with that to some extent, but it's only when he wants to be. There are long periods of times where Naniwa can slack and slump and not fucking do anything. So the idea that he works hard 24/7, that's not true. When he's really fucking motivated, he will grind. He can do fucking 40 games a day. Yeah.
He's just one of those focused players. Like he comes up with an objective, and then he focuses on that objective, and that's all he cares about at that point. And like, and he will turn down high value show matches because he already has an objective in his mind that he picked previous to that. So he'll say, "No, I don't want any of that. I'm not even interested in that money. I want to win this because this is what I fixated on."
Yeah.
But if he's
Not a
been
bad
like,
attitude to have, really.
I know that he was
No, it's
tweeting
good
a bit about
focus.
Swarm hosts. If he's getting like demotivated and shit because of Zerg and shit, and it's affecting his practice, then I don't know.
Maybe. Hopefully not.
All right, sorry guys, I'm fixing this thing really quick while
Sure.
you guys are talking. But okay, so you guys not
CJ
thinking
Hero's probably got the best shot of winning this. Honestly,
I thought both heroes actually have been playing pretty well recently.
I don't know about
It's
I'm
hit or
not
miss with Liquid Hero,
convinced.
but
I'm not. Yeah, he is a very hit and miss player. I'm not convinced with his current form. Like, obviously, he was great at Cologne, but I'm not 100% convinced by his current form. Whereas CJ Hero, I'm consistently convinced by his current form, and not only that, but if you're talking about a lot of high-level Protoss players, well, basically, Hero's beaten all of them in the past few months. You know, we're talking 2-1 Trap.
Yeah.
He beat Zest in Pro League. He lost to Stork, but he beat Rain 2-0. He 4-1 MC at Sao Paulo. He 2-1 Stork, then lost to Stork again. I don't know what his rivalry with Stork is, but, you know, he's beat Super, he's beat Parting, he's beat Hyunghwa, he's beat Dia, he's beat Sora, he's beat San.
He's definitely the hottest Protoss player right now.
He's ridiculous. Like, he's rock solid.
Looking at just any of the others, I don't know. I kind of feel like Pole will do decent. I don't know if he can win the whole thing, but Pole probably can't beat. I don't know. How many Protoss did he have to beat? Like in the last tournament that he was
Quite
in?
a few.
He beat like 3 of the top Protoss and then lost in the finals, right? So.
Pole is we should rename him Never Die Pole, and he's always been like this. I remember back at IPL 5 when we were casting Pole, and he was the only fucking non-Zerg left in the tournament, and he tried as hard as he could to beat Broodlord and Fester, and he almost managed it. He fucking almost did it. He was 1 map away, and he played so hard to do it, and he stayed in the game till the very end. And I think it's that determination that keeps him. Like, he's really hard to kill, infuriatingly so. And that might help him, but against that caliber of player, I don't see him getting that far, honestly.
Okay.
The caliber's just too high.
Yeah. Well, all right, anyways, I think it's going to be a really good tournament. Again, there's I wish there were a few more Zergs, a few more Terran, just to kind of balance it out a little bit. But in the end, again, the top players in the world playing in it, so you can't really complain when you get a tournament like that.
Should be high quality.
Yeah. So there's a League of Legends portion and a Hearthstone portion of this. League of Legends, I was going to have Thorin speak a few words about it, but maybe we'll save it until he gets back and we'll talk
Probably
about
for the best.
Yeah. Hearthstone, they mentioned they were going to add some Hearthstone to this event, but I didn't know it was going to take form in basically a 4-man event where 2 are invited, Artosis and Nimsh, and the other 2 qualified via a European and Polish qualifier. Is there even a prize for this? I don't even see a prize listed for this. Have you guys heard of any prize, TV?
This is the first time hearing about IEM having a Hearthstone tournament, honestly.
Yeah,
so.
they mentioned, I remember seeing them talking about maybe a week or 2 ago that they were going to add a Hearthstone portion to this, but yeah. 4 players, what can you really do? It's probably just, 3-match exhibition, I guess.
Yeah, it's not going to be up to the level of what was on SeatStory Cup anyway, and I like Take's format for that, outside of putting the fucking thing on the same stream as StarCraft, which was not a good format, but
we'll talk about more.
But the format itself with the secret deck and the fact that they went best of 7 with it, which is a good way of kind of smoothing out the randomness of that game, it was pretty solid. It was a good tournament.
Yeah, definitely good. And we'll talk about some more in a second, because we'll be talking about SeatStory and a lot of stuff going on there. Thor, man, EMS1's a big thing too. $250,000 tournament for CS:GO, and it's probably the biggest thing since DreamHack Winter, right? For CS:GO, and it's kind of 2 straight. I think DreamHack winner was 250,000 too. So huge tournaments for CS:GO. It should be pretty amazing. EMS1 will be. And Fnatic kind of surprised us all at DreamHack winner, so we'll see if they pull out pretty much another surprise here, because I don't think they're expected to win either. But I know Scoots is pretty heavily involved in the CS:GO portion of that, so it should be cool to see that. And if Thorin gets back on here, we'll have him talk a little bit about that, because he's a big CS:GO guy too. All right, so let's talk a little bit about SeatStory Cup, since.
All right.
Move on to SeatStory Cup. Did you guys get a chance to watch it? Steven, did you watch SeatStory at all? Takes event?
No, I read a little bit of it. I didn't get a chance to watch it.
Okay. Basically, it's a home
quite a
story
bit.
cup. It's basically a home story cup with a Hearthstone portion of it, which was interesting. Obviously, it was sponsored by Need for Seat, so that's the name of the event. But yeah, I watched a good amount of it too. I thought it was a successful event. Pretty much what you expect from Home Story. I mean, it had the same feel. Roddy casting it, I don't know. Whenever I think of Home Story, I always think of Roddy just being one of the voices whenever I'm listening to the casting. So it's really, really cool to see that. Dennis did an excellent take, did a great job. He always seems to add a little extra, something different, where they're doing giveaways outside, or they're in the bar, or they're in some other room that I don't even know where the hell they are. But it's kind of cool that they have that kind of mobility with the cameras and things like that. But overall, TB, what did you think?
The StarCraft portion was kind of what you would expect out of Home Story Cup, in that the caliber of play was not incredible, but you still get those good matches anyway, because you get a lot of really good Europeans that can put on entertaining games.
Yeah.
And Home Story's always been a case of, well, we don't have the top tier Koreans, and we don't invite that many Koreans. We invite a lot of Europeans, and the few Koreans that get in there either get matched up against each other and get knocked out, or end up getting to the finals and then snooted, which can happen, certainly. But the main problem I had with it wasn't that. I mean, the commentary was as good as always. It was very entertaining. The pros always give a really interesting perspective, and there's a lot of drunk casting, which was pretty cool, and 100% less awkward moments with In Control and Too Good, which is, well, half of me says that it's good that that's gone, and the other half says, well, that's a shame. But the main problem with it is the fact that they decided to put Hearthstone and StarCraft 2 on the same stream, which meant
really
keeping track of the StarCraft was a fucking nightmare. And as soon as you were just kind of getting into a StarCraft match, like, we're going to have some Hearthstone now. Like, oh, right, okay.
Well, vice versa,
I guess,
too. I mean,
I imagine it was just as bad for the Hearthstone guys. There was crossover, but you can't put two different esports on the same stream and alternate between the two and expect people to be too happy about it. I don't know why they did that. They already had two streams going. They could have very easily done a StarCraft and a Hearthstone stream without any problem.
It's perfect for us.
I think it was
Because
good to try, just to see.
Yeah.
I think it was a good experiment. Because
so.
there are a lot of it's easy to say now, like, it was a really bad idea, but there's a lot of unanswered possibilities. Like, what if there's a really big carryover from a big Hearthstone audience to the StarCraft stuff that normally doesn't get the kind of viewers that, so, like, I think it was okay to do it and then now at least they know, like, okay, well, the scheduling thing was a big fucking problem, and so.
Yeah, I mean, I think
and then there wasn't much of a carryover, so
it was even good for, I'm sure, like, the Hearthstone players getting a chance to mingle with the StarCraft 2 players too, being there. So I think overall the crossover is a good thing to do once in a while, but not all the time, because
not that way.
I was definitely distracted too, even though I love both. So for me, it was, you're not going to get more of an ideal demographic than me, who actually cares about those two things. And it was.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Take had a reason for it. I'm just not entirely convinced that it worked out. It may have even been a sponsor requirement, that there was attempted crossover to try and raise the overall level of viewership, which I think is probably for the best. I have a feeling the StarCraft portion, it's hard to say. Half of me says the StarCraft portion would have got less viewers if it was just on one stream. And the other half says, well, if I compare it to the numbers that I saw of dedicated StarCraft Home Story Cups, the numbers seemed quite a bit lower. That said, SeatStory was not as heavily promoted as Home Story. It was an announcement that wasn't... It wasn't that long ago, actually. So there wasn't as much lead-up as you usually get. So I have a feeling that had something to do with it as well. And honestly, the only person that could really do the analysis on those numbers is Take. So, I mean, as long as Take's happy with his numbers, then that's all that really matters at the end of the day, as long as the sponsors are happy with it. In fact,
maybe it would have been good.
Dennis actually wants to jump on and talk about it, Chris.
Yeah, I know
he's actually online right now.
Let me just figure out if I'm trying to figure out the Duncan situation. We'll pull on Dennis in a second. Let me see what's going on with Duncan.
Yeah, I'm just telling him now. It would be interesting to hear Take's perspective as to how well he thought it did, and kind
Okay,
of
why don't we
logic
pull him
was.
on? Why don't we pull him on really quickly?
Yeah,
I'm gonna have
why
to.
not? I mean,
Screens are
What,
gonna get all fucked up, guys. You're just gonna have to live with it.
What Piscetti said in chat is a really good point too. Maybe it would have been better to pull on like really noob friendly casters. If you're going for crossover, then you got people watching from both games that might not necessarily know the other one. So maybe pulling in really noob friendly casters would have been good.
it's really hard to do for Hearthstone. Hey,
Hey,
Dennis,
hey,
how are
what's
you?
up,
Dennis?
Yeah, it's really hard to
Hey.
do for Hearthstone. You gotta have a really good understanding of just the meta and that's kind
Oh
of.
wait, I still have the stream on. Finally. Hey, thank you, John, for letting
Yeah.
Shannon know that.
I saw it
I'm
too.
around.
Dennis. Sorry, I didn't get back to you. Just like a lot of stuff going on right
yeah.
now. So.
Yeah. I was watching before, and I thought I should probably give my opinion on it too, that you guys know what thoughts I had on
Sure.
on combining two streams. You somehow mentioned a little bit that giving it a try was what we thought is a good idea. We want to do something new. I had the idea to combine a little bit the StarCraft casters with the Hearthstone casters, give it a try that you can combine two communities, which are more or less like pretty close because a lot of StarCraft players play Hearthstone and the other way around too. That was like just give it a try, but on the other side, I thought that if I would put the StarCraft games on the B stream, which was the only possibility I had, because Hearthstone right now has no observer mode, and you need
Absolutely.
more technical equipment to do the Hearthstone stream decent. We had to capture both PCs, and we only had this opportunity on the A stream. So my thought at least was, okay, I don't want to have the StarCraft games all over on the B stream, which would suck because the B stream, it's okay, it's an okay stream, but the quality is worse. It's just one guy in the production doing sound, pick everything. So the game which I love the most, I would actually, I would put it on the B stream. I wouldn't feel that comfortable, and I wanted to get like a cool final with more production value in it, also for the StarCraft games, also for the whole 3 days. So I thought, okay, give it a try. Would be probably, I think it was worth it to try it. And I'm also not 100% happy, and believe me, I would change that if I would have two decent streams where I'm happy with. But yeah, my flat is like limited space. Even if I would have the Technic, it would I think this would be possible. I don't have the space to just have more people in a production room and cover two events on the same time in the apartment I have right now. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, what Take said about production is a really good point. If you looked at the Hearthstone tournament that was at BlizzCon, the production was not good at all, and Takes was probably the best that I've seen so far, certainly out of any live event. You can do a lot in post with Hearthstone, but because there's no proper observer mode, it's a goddamn nightmare. It was really hard to cast at BlizzCon as well, because we couldn't see the other guy's hand, which caused us all manner of problems, and it was really hard to remember what the other guy had and to do proper comparisons. So I mean, the way Take did the production for Hearthstone was a shitload better than anything else that I've seen. So that was great, but I can see what you mean now. I mean, you don't have the production assets to do both streams to the quality that you want to do. So, you had to do that mix. The problem with the casting, I think, and there's something that Chris brought up, is it's really hard to cast noob-friendly Hearthstone. Like, the best Hearthstone cast is super analytical. I fucking suck at casting Hearthstone. My cast of BlizzCon was awful. And you've got to be a pro player to cast that game, because that's the only person that can think of all the possibilities and do the math that quickly. You can't play-by-play that game at all. So I think that it's really hard to be noob-friendly and simultaneously be interesting with that. I think that it could have been... StarCraft definitely could have been done more noob-friendly, but honestly, that's like never the way you guys have done it at Home Store. You've always had the pros cast, and that's always had the unique feel of the show. So I think you'd end up compromising that if you tried to do that, you know?
You kind of had a guy that could, like a Swiss Army knife in Artosis too. So he actually was as kind of a bridge between the two, which was kind of nice.
I think that helped for the StarCraft guys, definitely, to see Artosis both playing, because that's like an interesting thing to watch Artosis play something at a pro level and also commentate. So I definitely think that helps, but it's weird because even a lot of StarCraft players play Hearthstone, but they don't necessarily like watching it.
Yeah, it definitely takes... I don't know. It's just like any other game, honestly. You really have to be invested in the game to actually enjoy watching it to a degree. And the one thing about watching a card game, though, it's pretty easy to understand, and therefore accessible in a way too, right? That's one of the things I think it's easier actually for people who don't like the game or never seen the game before can actually become a fan of it. Overall, though, I think the Hearthstone portion of it ended up being very entertaining. Like a lot of it, a lot of things worked out. Just some notable moments. The Trump Hungry Crab.
The Hungry Crab.
Yeah, the secret deck.
The secret deck, I think, added a lot to the event. It helped that it was best of 7. Up to this point, it's mostly been the best of 5 at Joshi format, which is the 3-deck all kill. Now it's 4-deck plus that 1 secret deck. I think that helps a lot, actually.
Yeah, I think so too. I didn't even quite get the secret deck until a little bit later, and I was like, oh, I thought they were just making a joke. It was a secret deck, and I was oh, there's actually a secret deck element to it. That's kind of interesting.
It helps a lot because otherwise you've got to craft decks, I think, and you would know that better than this than I do, but you've got to craft decks that can take on a lot of different decks, whereas with your secret deck, you bust it out at a very specific time to kill a very specific thing. Yeah. And that means you get a more interesting constructed deck. I like that.
Yeah.
That should be in more tournaments, I think.
Well, there goes Dennis.
Well, never mind. One of those days.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those days. But overall, yeah, I think it. I think it went well. The StarCraft 2 portion, I think, went well too. Having Snoot win the tournament, Snoop just kind of has. Home Story Cup and SeatStory Cup just seem to be his thing. He feels comfortable there, obviously.
It's starting to become a bit weird, I gotta say.
Why is it weird?
Well, because he keeps getting Zerg versus Zerg in the final and a bunch of CVC on the way there, and then wins Home Story Cup again. Like, what is it about that one tournament that he just rocks at?
He feels comfortable.
If you look at his performance there compared to how he did in Red Bull, it was two different players.
That's true. Well, which Red Bull? The finals or?
Well, no, the Red Bull Battlegrounds New York, where he just bombed completely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's true.
So strange, honestly.
Yeah, that's true. Well, he played well in Orlando, but yeah, New York he played pretty badly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty good. And I was telling Steven before the show, he gets so much shit for playing like mostly roaches and ZVZ, and
the problem is that I think he gets shit because he is really inconsistent. Mm-hmm. And part of the time where he was doing really well was like the rise of the patch Zerg. So I think a lot of people kind of swept him under the rug in that era.
Yeah, maybe.
So, I mean, like, when you roll all that into that and then combine it with the inconsistency now, it's really easy to give him a lot of shit, Yeah,
I don't know. I don't think it's worth. I mean, if you ever talk to Jens and kind of understand, just kind of get a sense of his understanding of even the matchup and what he does, you'll know that he knows his shit. So it's...
I never said he didn't, but I mean, obviously,
I'm
the
not
majority of people that are screaming on Reddit, patch they probably don't give a fuck about if the player knows the game or not. I'm just saying that's probably why a lot of people consider him.
Yeah, I guess.
Because he is really inconsistent. That's inarguable that Snoot is a really inconsistent player. So
I mean, what StarCraft 2 player is super consistent? I mean, the game is...
MVP was.
Yeah, true. These days, it's hard. It's definitely hard to have even a player repeat or just actually win back-to-back weeks, right? So it's it's crazy these days. But the two new Bunny played well. I think in the group stages he actually played really well, and then got knocked out by. Actually, let me bring it up.
Good caster too, I've got to say. He's got a lot of
I think he got knocked out by TLO.
Yeah, TLO. Oh yeah, TLO.
TLO played some pretty good StarCraft.
Yeah,
TLO's always entertaining to watch, but he played some good StarCraft this weekend.
I just wish he would just win one. God, if Dario could just win one tournament, it would be amazing.
TLO has actually won a tournament before. He won 2, in fact. He won Poker Idol in 2011. He also won this Heat Charity Invitational. He beat... Oh god, who was it? Because I cast that. I can't bloody remember. He beat Real, who was that Korean that moved to Germany.
Oh, yes.
And he beat Grubby, I think, at that one as well.
He's always so close. I mean, last year he started really hot too. I think he finished 3rd in WCS, the first EU season at the end of the season ending season 1 thing or whatever.
Did he?
I think so. I think he finished 3rd and really close. That's why I was like, he started the year pretty hot, and then kind of like the rest of the year just didn't quite have a really really high result. So it'd be really cool to see him because Dario, I think everybody knows Dario works super hard, and obviously a figure that I think the community would rally behind, or does rally behind, in general.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, definitely. Looking at the results, looks like Hero here. Let me just link it to you because the screens guys are just gonna be a little crazy today, so I'm not gonna be able to use the web view as much as I'd like. But looking at the results, looks like Hero Marine did really well too. Didn't get a chance to see him that much. Yeah, he's definitely on the rise. That kid is going to be
seeing him a lot
good.
online. So he's going to have to kind of nail down his ability to play at lands. I think that something like SeatStory is a good place to do that because it's very relaxed. So you're seeing the newer players that go to Home Story Cups generally do fairly well.
Yeah, and I think he's got what it takes. Actually, I've had my eye on Marines like since. Jeez, I remember asking him to be on Pro Corner. Like, you know how long ago it's been since I'd done a Pro Corner. So. It's really
he played godlike in the Nation Wars that O Gaming did. He was playing ridiculously well.
Absolutely,
really solid Terran.
Absolutely, but overall, another successful event for Take. I think it's really cool. I hope that he's able to do more. And what's this whole business about having to click on videos and shit like that for him to do another SeatStory? Is that actually real?
No.
I mean, it's not real, is it?
All right, okay, so that is... there's some promotion where whoever gets a certain number of views, I think, is getting some money from the sponsor. I think it's NVIDIA, isn't it, that's doing it?
NVIDIA? Okay.
He wants to just do a smaller event, and he wants to win that to fund it, basically. So, no, it doesn't mean that there won't be another home story if people don't click that video.
Okay.
That's not how it is.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Wait, is that true? Was the Muslim making excuses about his mouse and keyboard at the tournament?
I don't
remember.
Was he?
That.
I didn't hear about that, but like I hear many things about the Muslim, and most of them end up being completely untrue. So,
what? You serious?
Weird, okay,
People saying
mind.
false things about players? Wow.
Somebody said he was talking about it on his stream earlier, but I don't know.
I have to say,
the reason the Muslim lost is because he slept with 4 hookers the night before and then drank 3 pints of Baileys. 3 whole pints.
All on EG's ticket, man. All on EG's ticket,
yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, they have a comfort woman budget over at EG.
Nice.
Oh, God, there's so many bad jokes you can make about that right now. But...
I know. Alex says never going to talk to me again for saying that.
No, but I have to say, Ben's casting was pretty delightful, I have to say.
It always is.
I enjoyed it. I kind of wish he would do a little bit more of it.
I enjoyed his Warcraft 3 casting because he was the only one that made any fucking sense.
Yes, that's true.
I actually watched the Warcraft 3 and I didn't really have too much. I didn't have too much perspective on it, but the Muslim did a really good job of explaining what was going on, often in StarCraft terms, and being really noob friendly about it. And I actually enjoyed watching Stefano versus Grubby repeatedly and seeing no units die for 20 minutes. All right.
It's like watching an actual StarCraft game.
It's almost like watching.
It's like watching a StarCraft game with Stefano. Fucking Smorvos. What's the deal with Stefano too? Is he just there? Is he playing anymore? I mean, what's the deal with Stefano?
Well, he's retired in the same way that every other StarCraft player is retired.
Yeah, I guess.
As in, he's fucking not. Like, he plays whenever he feels like it, and unfortunately, he plays I don't know what Steven thinks about this, but, like, his recent playstyle is fucking dull as dishwater.
Have you seen it, Steven? It's like, get Swarm Host as fast as you can, and then just, like, play the slowest.
It's really effective. There are a couple of small 2-player maps where I beat Violet yesterday doing that shit.
Really?
You just go you just do 2-base Swarm Host. Or who's Violet, the Protest player? Not the Zerg one.
No. Violet's the Zerg. Is there 2 Violet?
Violet's a Zerg player, mate.
There's 2 Violets?
There's a Protoss player. Wait, is it the same? I thought... What? Which one? There's like 2 players.
You realize that the old Brood War Violet died, right?
Oh no!
If you're talking about him, then I'm pretty sure it's not him.
No.
Okay, no, never mind then. Wait, does Violet off-race as Protoss? On NA ladder?
He might. He might, actually. That might not...
Anyway, regardless. I mean, you can do it. Anyway, back onto strategy. I'm not talking about, like, fucking ghosts of StarCraft players pass.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. I'm sorry. No disrespect.
God.
Those, if you rush Stormhost on some maps, it can be pretty fucking funny to do, because they can be pretty difficult for Protoss to deal with, unless they, like, metagame it hardcore. Does any Protoss against Stefano, like, do, like, a 2-base Blink Stalker all-in rush with an Observer or something? Because that would be pretty good.
All I know is he is the only person to say, yeah, I'm going to ladder for 10 hours and get 3 games done. So he has become Firecake, Destroyer of Worlds.
Yeah. They're pretty boring, but I mean, again, I only do it against Protoss, and every time I feel bad, I just have to remember that my opponent is Protoss. He's pretty much
Protoss.
subhuman, so I don't feel bad about it anymore when I start to win, and then they start to rage, and it's like, if I wouldn't have did it, you probably would have beat me with like, a 2-base, Blink Stalker, Force Field bullshit all in, so I don't feel bad anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're a competitive player, use whatever the fuck you need to win. It's not your fault that Swarm Host is really good.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure, yeah, but I mean, it does kind of suck. That unit is pretty fucked up. I wonder what Legacy of the Void will bring.
Hopefully,
Because there's no
units-
way you can balance. There's no way you can balance the score most. It just has to go. The idea of the free units and the siege.
Yeah.
You'd have to do a lot of tweaking to it to change the way that it
The
works.
entire
you know?
design philosophy is